Hey folks, welcome back, or of course welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your first time visiting, and thank you so much for choosing to join me for our pick a card reading today. Now, today's message is quite straightforward. We're asking for something from your spirit guides that they want to tell you, but specifically it's a message that you're not hearing or haven't been hearing but really need to. So especially if you've been feeling kind of lost lately and you've been looking for clarity or guidance on something going on in your life, or maybe you're just kind of open to see what they want to say to you, this reading is perfect for you. So without further ado, let us choose our pile leaders to pick the message with. Calling on our spirit guides here for our community collectively. Please guide us to the right pile leaders for their message today, what you want them to know most. Thank you. Okay, this one is quite prominent, so I will take that for pile 1. And actually, I'm going to take the back one for pile 2. And then there is pile 3. Let's unveil them together. So for pile number 1 over here on the left, you today are She Who Knows, Yelena. Very beautiful. For pile number 2 today, here in the middle, your pile leader is She Who Grants Wishes, or Aylis. And for pile number 3, your pile leader today is She Who Questions, Amalie. Okay, so pile 1, Yelena. Pile 2, Aylis. And pile 3 on the right here is Amalie, though as I always say, you are perfectly welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you. If you want my suggestion for a method on choosing, I always like the good old close your eyes, take in a deep cleansing breath, ask your spirit guides, please give me a number 1 through 3, and whatever is your first gut instinct, whatever is the first number that comes forward, don't doubt it. That is the pile I recommend that you choose. But whatever your method, when you are ready, drop to the description box down below, find the timestamp for your pile, and I'll see you in our chat about the message you're not hearing but really need to. See you in the reading, everyone. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome to your pick a card reading message from your spirit guides. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to She Who Knows, Yelena, as your pile leader, and her keywords for today are wisdom, clarity, and resolution. So we'll put her over here to the left to begin. And we're actually going to draw out your tarot spread first and then your oracle cards. So calling on spirit guides for pile 1 today, asking more about the messages that they're not hearing but really need to, something that would help them, something that would give them clarity. Please guide us to those answers right now. Thank you. Okay, I already know which one felt like it was calling for you, pile 1, so we'll take that one. And then let's look at, actually, I'm going to look at what you got and then I'll draw the other cards. So from the Pastoral Tarot, we have, some chess with the Queen of Swords. Very possibly, could represent you, pile number 1. Queen of Swords can mean someone who is an air sign or has a lot of air placements within their chart. Could also represent a situation that you're going through right now. So we'll talk about that more in a moment with the other tarot cards. Let's draw those. Or potentially it could also represent someone else in a situation that you're going with. I forgot to mention pile 1. That matches that description. So it could be like a feminine air sign, possibly. And it's interesting because actually, just realized this as I'm shuffling your other tarot cards, pile 1, that when we look at your Yelena, She Who Knows, and her keywords being wisdom, clarity, and resolution, that's literally like a precise Queen of Swords energy. She is a person who is very intelligent. She is someone who is really good at cutting through the murk of life, cutting through the fog and finding the answers and the truth. Maybe you're seeking answers on something, pile 1. Maybe you're hoping that a spirit guide can provide that energy to you in terms of a truth that you're trying to find. Let's keep going. We'll see with the other cards. Beautiful. So there are your other 5 tarot cards. First up to bat, we have more swords, but we have the Page of Swords reversed this time. Yes, so that kind of makes me think I'm on the right track with my intuition here, pile 1. Maybe you're kind of confused about something, you've been seeking answers on something, or it's like you want to start something, to potentially some of you, but you're having a hard time figuring out, well, where do I even begin? Especially because the page in tarot pile number 1 is like the youngest of the court cards. Therefore, it's someone who is like new to something, or they're like a student or learning. So keep that in mind. We have the Ace of Pentacles. All right. You may especially be trying to find answers on like an opportunity of some sorts too, because the Ace of Pentacles, especially related to like resources or finances or career, is like a new opportunity in that area of life. So I think that might be what your spirit guides want to help you with today. Yes. Okay. Knight of Pentacles reversed. Are you also possibly afraid that you're not making enough progress on something? Because that's what the Knight of Pentacles speaks to me about. Let's keep going, but that's the impression I'm getting so far for you, pile 1. Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. Well, I'll tell you this, pile number 1. Already off the bat with the Nine of Pentacles that just popped out, your efforts will not be in vain. I can promise you that with that card having just come out, but then we have, yes, the Moon reversed. Illusions broken is what that card means. So quite the picture forming. As I said, just to summarize everything I've mentioned so far, pile 1, I feel like you're in a situation in life where you're seeking answers. You're trying to discover like the best logical way through something. And for some of you, this situation might also involve someone who is like a feminine air sign, which could be, well, number 1, yourself, but it could also be someone else involved that's like a feminine air sign. And that, or it's representative with the Queen of Swords, and especially your Yelena card, of you like stepping into that energy of the Queen of Swords of, okay, I need to find this answer. I need to cut through the murk. I need to figure out, how do I progress? How do I get through this slump or this challenge that's facing me? Okay. And you're giving it a really good try. I can guarantee you that, pile number 1. I can see that, because especially with the Page of Swords reversed in the beginning next to the Ace of Pentacles, it's like you're trying to find that breakthrough. You're trying to find that energy of like a key to open the door of what you're trying to accomplish. But that Knight of Pentacles reversed that popped out is the heart of the matter, called like, or excuse me, that card that I call like the central. It's like always the central card of my spread that I use with the main 5 tarot cards. That tells me, pile number 1, that progress feels like it's kind of sluggish, or we're not making the progress we want to make on it. Some of you, it could also be that with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, because it can be a card of advice of go slower. Maybe things have been happening too fast. So half of you, it might be things are like way too fast and it feels way too chaotic, and you're like, how the heck do I get through this without it feeling like a chaos train? And some of you, or the other half of you, it might be things are just going really slow, because that's another interpretation of the Knight of Pentacles, is this feeling of like, oh, okay, slow and steady wins the race, but I really wish things would pick up speed. It's that sort of energy, okay? I can tell you this. Spirit guides want to tell you, as I said with these 2 cards, pile 1, your efforts will not be in vain. The Nine of Pentacles card is always a card of you've worked extremely hard on something, and now you're reaping the fruits of your labor, okay? Because when you look at the Nine of Pentacles, you can see she's picking at a vineyard here. She took all that time to nurture those crops, blood, sweat, and tears, just as you have in whatever project that you've been working on, pile 1. And now she's very happily enjoying basically everything that she put into it, her blood, sweat, tears, as I said. So that being the near future card, pile 1, spirit guides want to tell you, don't give up hope. Don't feel like you haven't made progress, because I promise you, you have made progress in ways that you don't expect. And I say that especially because of this Moon reversed card that popped out at the end here, pile 1. The Moon reversed is literally as an outcome card. Oh, the illusion has dropped. I've realized something. Something was not what it seemed. So there's something about this situation too that spirit guides want to tell you that you're not maybe necessarily perceiving in the correct way. Not at your own fault, pile number 1, but the problem is that I think, it could be the way that you view progress. It could also be the way that it seems like maybe nothing is really going on, or you're not making the progress that you want to make, at least how it appears on the outside. But there's like things that are going on and like lessons you're learning, and there's something in the background that just isn't what it seems, that it's leading to more than you expect. Okay, so in the near future, you do have the Nine of Pentacles. So I think you'll finally start seeing those tangible results and those tangible successes very soon. But the real blessing here, pile number 1, is you're going to realize with that Moon reversed at the very end, oh, actually I was going along a lot faster, or things were coming along a lot sooner, or like things were different than I realized. Things were happening in ways I didn't quite expect. That's that kind of mystical, foggy vibe of the moon reversed. And then, funny that I say fog, because literally I was talking about how, like, the Queen of Swords cuts through the murk. She cuts through the fog and finds the truth, pile 1. That's literally what she would do, is she would be a perfect kind of person who would bring about the energy of a moon reversed in dropping illusions, because she's very logical. She's like, I'm going to cut through what things seem like to find the kernel of truth deep down inside. Okay, so let's look at your oracle cards. I'm curious to see what they will say. We do have 2 other decks here. Let's draw those. We have the Woodland Wardens, and then we also have the Lantern Oracle today. So, Spirit Guides, same thing. Anything else you want to say to pile 1 on this situation for their highest, best good, of course? Oh, that's another thing, too, pile 1. Even if, not just because of the 9 of Pentacles here, when I see that, I said, like, oh man, you're going to get to the fruits of your labor very soon. But with Yelena, one of her keywords is resolution. I forgot to mention that. Or, like, I'd mention it, but I didn't point it out specifically. Resolution. So it's like things are coming to a resolvement, or like an end that you've been worrying about with this particular situation that you're finding is resonating here, as I described. So, yes. Okay. And then for your Woodland Wardens, we have, looks like the weasel or otter, excuse me. Looks like a weasel. It's an otter. The otter and the cattail with peace. Okay, so yes, things are going to calm down. So especially for those of you where I said, with one interpretation of the Knight of Pentacles reversed, where it feels like things have been really just too chaotic. The chaos train, that's what I called it. Things are going to calm down. You have the card of peace, literally. Very beautiful. And maybe part of what you're trying to attain is peace of some sort. That could also be what that represents. And then last but not least, let's look at your last oracle card for today. See what else Spirit wants to say to you, your guides. Anything else, Spirit Guides? Thank you. Now this deck might help reveal what the lesson has been, or like more about the illusion. Let's see what happens. Feeling that one right there. We have inner life. We have a figure who is meditating. Number 43, your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Now that is one of the more deep cards. I'm actually going to draw just one more clarifier card on that particular card, pile 1. I want to know. Spirit, can you give me one card of clarity on inner life? What do you mean by that? Inner life to be cultivated. I feel like my intuitive sense, pile 1, while I'm drawing the card, is that they're saying that part of the reason for the wait that you've been, like, what feels like the delay in the progress that you've been trying to make, or part of the chaos for those of you that resonate with this having been a situation that was just going too fast or too chaotic, is because it was helping you learn an internal lesson of some sort. That's why I want to draw this extra card here to see what that lesson might be. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. Look at these queens you keep getting, pile 1. All right, so the Queen of Pentacles as a lesson card is a card of... So, like the Queen of Swords, tends to represent maybe sometimes like a feminine figure. But she represents the feminine figure regarding Earth, because Pentacles are the Earth suit, pile 1. This could represent you going from this energy of the Queen of Swords more into the energy of Queen of Pentacles. Maybe before you were trying to be super logical about things. Maybe that's what that represented with the Queen of Swords, especially if you are an air sign, which, hello, air sign here myself. I totally get overthinking it. I do it all the time. But moving into the energy of the Queen of Pentacles is... especially from the Queen of Swords, is this sensation of, okay, now I'm not thinking about things so much about, like, what's the logical way to tackle this problem or this progress I'm trying to make. It's more understanding that things kind of grow on their own time and being, like, secure and happy with that. As much as we want things to happen at the pace that of course we want things to go as fast as we want instant gratification sometimes, and that's a very human thing, pile number 1, but it's like you shifting more into like a slower pace with things in terms of it not I mean, some of you, it might be that, like, literally the pace does slow down if that's what's been bothering you, especially with that peace card. But for some of you, where it's like you want the pace to go faster, and that's why things have been bothering you with this situation, it's like you finally... It helps because I think you do get that outside success with the Nine of Pentacles. Like, that naturally makes us feel a little bit calmer about progress, because we think, okay, well, there's something that I can look at and be like, okay, I did make progress. I don't have to worry as much. I feel like as long as I've made some momentum or some step forward, I'm not as worried about it. But I don't know, it's some internal lesson they're trying to teach you about, you know, not just divine timing, pile one, but also it's like a life lesson regarding being secure even in times where we feel like there's a lack of outside, what's the word I want to use? Being secure in parts of life where we feel like there's, oh, I'm sorry, I'm like pausing. I'm trying to find the exact word. Let me think for just one moment. I want to say outside validation, but it's not from other people, pile one. It's times in life where we don't have the validation of, like, just right in our face milestones, okay? Sometimes it's best when we are going through situations like this to think about the internal milestones that we've crossed rather than the external milestones that we've gotten to. Does that kind of make sense, pile one? And I think that's why inner life was brought up, because it's just like, this is like an internal lesson that part of this journey has been revolving around, at least on like a soul, like life lesson level, okay? So beautiful energy though with the Queen of Pentacles, because she also represents a time of feeling more secure in things. She's a very secure queen. She's down to earth, she's humble, she's not quite as I mean, you know, not that the Queen of Swords isn't secure in and of herself, right, too, with her energy, because, you know, she's very intelligent, she's very smart, she's very she knows how to, like, see through things very clearly, but she can tend to draw into that energy on the more negative side of error energy, of that overthinking, of that worrying too much, of like anxiety. Like, you know, when your mind kind of gets out of control in terms of worrying about the future. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't do that, because she's, I mean, out of all the suits in tarot, the Pentacle suit tends to represent the slowest time frames. Okay. Which doesn't mean that you're not going to get to this thing quickly. I do see that in the near future with that Nine of Pentacles, but I think when you look back on this situation in retrospect in the future, pile one, you're going to be like, I'm glad that this situation occurred, because it taught me many lessons around timing, around security, and around learning to value internal milestones, as I said before, rather than external milestones. Okay, so just be reassured. You're going to get success here soon with whatever it is that you've been worrying about that resonates with what I've been describing. But I think, you know, I almost wonder if that's what the illusion really is that's being dropped here, pile one, is it's not the illusion of the success of the external milestone of whatever it is you're, like, tangibly trying to achieve or attain. It's dropping the illusion of realizing, well, is that really what was the main milestone I was meant to attain all along, or was it an internal milestone? Okay, so a lesson learned, a skill learned. It could also be you gaining more confidence in things too, because that's another really hard thing to keep up when we feel like there's a lack of external signs that we are doing well, is we lack confidence sometimes. But then we finally get to the milestone and we're like, okay, well, why did I worry? Why did I lack confidence? When on the way, it's hard, but when you get there, you're like, oh, okay, I had nothing to worry about. I can be secure in that. I'm not failing. I'm not doing badly. Okay. So that's precisely what a Queen of Pentacles would tell herself. She'd be like, well, yeah, maybe the pace isn't going as fast as I want it to, but being a card of Earth, she would tell herself, well, I know good things come to those who wait, and slow and steady wins the race. That's kind of her energy, pile number one. Okay, so let's see. So that resolution is coming. Success is coming. It's really nothing. I don't think you have to do anything differently, pile number one. So there's not so much advice. I think you're on the right path, especially because of the Nine of Pentacles having come out in the near future. There's nothing really to change on your part, other than it's like spirit guides are telling you in the meantime, if you can, we understand why, but if you can, don't worry so much about the external milestones seeming like they've been achieved, okay? Think about those internal milestones, and those will help sustain you and your confidence in whatever it is you're trying to achieve or progress on until that external milestone does come to fruition. It will, but just until it does, okay? You'll find that peace. You'll find what you're looking for. There'd be a lot less confusion. It'd be a lot more clarity. Especially because, we go from the Page of Swords reversed energy is like, oh, I'm confused and I don't know what to do, to the Moon reversed in the very end, which is, oh, all the fog has been cleared. I know what to do. I know what's real. I know what the path is. I know what the landscape looks like. Okay. So that was your message today from your spirit guides, the message you're not hearing but really need to, as the title says. If you liked it, if it resonated, and of course, number one, if it helped you, that's what I care about most. Here's my usual spiel. Please like the video. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Every little bit helps, and thank you so much if you choose to do any one, if not three of those things. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, Pile 1, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading. That's a message from your spirit guides, something you're not hearing but really need to, as you recall from the intro. And of course, we have your pile leader, she who grants wishes, Aylis, with wish, desires, and hope. So we're going to set here over to the left. And let's begin the tarot reading with your tarot spread, of course, and then we're going to draw some oracle cards later. So calling on spirit guides for pile 2 today. Could you tell me a little bit more about their situation you want to discuss with them? Something they're not hearing but really need to. Something that would help them. Thank you. Alright, feel this one back here. Oh, interesting. Pile 1 got the Queen of Swords from this deck today, too. I wonder if there's a lot of collective energy being shared with our different piles today. But I'll tell you what I told them, pile number 2. The Queen of Swords is a card of, well, it could be two things. It can represent a person because it is one of the court cards in tarot. And a Queen of Swords as a person is usually feminine energy with an air sign or air energy. So that could be yourself. Maybe you are a feminine air sign. In which case, hello, feminine air sign myself. Or it could also represent someone that is involved in a situation that you've been wanting an answer on that is a feminine air sign herself, okay? But if it doesn't represent a person, it can also represent a situation where we've been trying to really think logically about something. We've been trying to be strategic, hence the chessboard that is on the table in front of her, because that's what a Queen of Swords does, pile 2, is she thinks through things very carefully like a tactician would, hence her playing chess. Now, first card already popped out from the other deck. We have the Five of Wands. So Five of Wands can represent competition. It can represent maybe a little bit of a battle of wills. Let's keep going. We also have the Knight of Swords. So more swords energy, but it's the knight this time. Can also represent a person, possibly younger male energy, air sign as well, or it can also talk about knights are action takers in tarot, so an action that we're taking regarding a thought that we had or regarding some sort of logical plan that we've made. Third card today is the Magician reversed. Might be a bit of a pain point you've been going through. Magician reversed can represent a pain point where we've been trying to make something come to manifestation. We've been trying to make something come to life. We've been trying to put the elements together, and sometimes it just feels like things aren't going the way that we want them to, or the thing that we're trying to attain or make is not coming out or the way we want it to, or like as fast as we want it to. So as I said, to summarize, the Magician reversed can be struggles with manifestation. So, next up we have the Six of Cups. Interesting. Can represent something from the past. It does represent nostalgia, sometimes siblings or family. And let's see what your final card is for today. We have the Three of Wands. Finally embarking on adventures or plans that we've made. It's the action part of planning. Plan, and then boom, with Three of Wands energy, we're ready to set out on the plans that we've concocted so far. So just based on your tarot cards, pile number 2, I already kind of gave you a bit of a glimpse of what this message is about through as I describe each card when they popped out. But I feel like, yes, there's a situation that you've been going through recently where you have been trying to figure out something logically. That's the Queen of Swords energy. Or, as I said, there's someone that you're concerned about or is involved in the situation that you've been thinking about a lot or having to deal with a lot. That is that feminine air energy, okay? If it's not yourself. I think what also describes the situation at hand is especially what I call the inciting incident card, the first one in my spread. That's the 5 of Wands for you today, pile 2. And the 5 of Wands can represent a situation where we feel like there is competition, or we feel like there's a butting of heads or a butting of willpower, or like each person involved in the situation is trying to have their own way, and that's where the conflict sparks, is because everyone wants to be the leader, nobody wants to be the follower. I mean, you can kind of even see that in the depiction of the card here. I mean, literally, they're all just like duking it out with each other with the wands. It's not harsh conflict necessarily, though, pile 2. So I don't necessarily see that this is, for all of you, like, it's not like a really big fight going on, but it might be that you're like, you feel like you're kind of in competition with other people. Maybe it's even just through comparison and not active competition, or you feel like you're in competition with maybe if the Queen of Swords energy isn't you, it could also be like someone, as I said, that might be involved in the situation that you feel resonates with that energy of the Queen of Swords, someone who is, feminine air sign, as I said, logical, intelligent, etc. And with the Knight of Swords popping up right after that, it's like that's why I feel like a lot of you, this does represent yourself, the Queen of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is someone who takes action, as I said, with logic and with a tactical plan in mind. Okay, it's a very smart action taken. And I think it's towards something you really want. Hence why you were drawn to Aylis as your pile leader. She, as it says, her keywords are wish and desires and hope. That's probably maybe why you were even drawn to her as your leader today, because you're like, oh, I have a wish I want granted, or something that I'm really hoping for. Something I really desire. But what keeps getting in your way, pile 2, is this Magician reverse energy. It's that feeling of like, why is it not manifesting? Or if you are in competition with somebody, maybe, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be harsh competition. It could be like literally you and this Queen of Swords energy are maybe both going for the same promotion, or you're thinking like both of you might be candidates for it, or, it could even be a broader, say some of you might be like auditioning for a play or musical or something like that. The Queen of Swords energy might represent like a whole group of people that you feel like you're competing against, hence the 5 of Wands energy. And it's like you feel like you're just not getting picked, or you feel like you're not, it's like you keep asking yourself, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, what the heck am I doing wrong? What do I do? Because you've been tackling it logically. You're like, well, this should have been getting me the results I wanted with this wish that I have, but, it falls kind of limp with that Magician reverse. You're like, well, yeah, damn it, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, so that's the energy I'm seeing leading into what this message is about today, pile number 2. Okay, so the reason why I went in all these cards first is just to kind of describe this is the situation that your spirit guides want to talk to you about, the advice they want to give you. Now, they do have advice for you, pile number 2. Now, typically this is the point at which I would read the near future and the outcome cards. But because I feel like this reading might be more advice-oriented, I want to draw your other oracle cards to start, which, like I said, usually I draw them more towards the end, but I want to do that now because I feel like what these cards might say will help expand upon the advice of the last 2 tarot cards you have. So let's do that right now. Spirit, anything else for pile 2 for their guides? Thank you. What advice do you have for them with manifesting this wish, this dream? Okay, well, that one was prominent, so we'll take it. We have, speaking of fire. I wonder if a lot of you, it's a creative thing. Because you've got lots of wands, and now you have the salamander, which is the animal of fire in a lot of traditional symbolism. And the black pepper, which is also, kind of associated with fire, because pepper means heat, right? We have inspiration. Inspiration. Yeah, I feel like it is creative for a lot of you. That, even if it's not necessarily a creative goal, like say getting a role in a play, like I was explaining, or getting a song noticed or a book noticed, anything that you've created with creative power, it's still something that involves creativity in it. All right, and I'm actually really glad that the last deck I have for today for your cards is the Lantern Oracle, because this deck is fantastic when it comes to advice. So, Spirit Guides, any other advice for them? That one right there. Ooh. We have number 15, Distorted Desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. I'm going to pull just one more clarifier on that card, but I do feel like that might be a message regarding, what's the best way to put it? I'm going to formulate kind of my description of it as I draw your next card on it. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So, it kind of reminds me of characters and stories pile number 2. I know it feels like a weird segue into talking about writing for a second. Hey, maybe some of you are writers, maybe that's why it's coming forward. But, you ever notice how in a story pile number 2, like, let's say a character in the very beginning of a story wants something. They're like, well, I want to defeat the big bad, or I want to get this item, or I want to attain this thing. Oftentimes, the reason why they're seeking that out really isn't the full reason as to why, like, what they say on the outside as a character isn't exactly what's really fueling it deep down as to what they seek this out for. So, for example, like, one character, let's say you have 2 different stories next to each other. You have one character that says, I want to defeat the big bad because the big bad hurt my family. In that case, really the unconscious need underneath it would sound like revenge, right? But deep down it would feel almost like justice is really what they're seeking deep down. Versus if you have a character that wants to defeat a big bad, and they're like, well, I have the want of defeating the big bad, but I want to defeat them because I want glory. Well, that's a much of a different need than, say, the one that is doing it to avenge their family. You know what I mean? So that's why I bring up the character example with writing pile number 2, is because that card perfectly is kind of what I'm illustrating with that example. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So part of your advice pile 2, and let me look at the tarot card you got with it. We got the King of Swords. Speaking of air energy, thinking deeply about it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. One piece of advice from your spirit guides is think really deeply with this thing that you're trying to attain. Why do you want it? Why? And don't just think about your immediate answer, pile 2. The immediate, as I said with the character examples. Well, I want to defeat the big bad. Well, yes, but why? Why do you want that thing? Because the King of Swords pile 2 is someone that, it's very similar to the Queen of Swords, is very sharp with their intellect, is very logical. They cut through the emotions and they get to the nitty-gritty of the facts. Why do you want this thing that you're trying to attain? I think that's maybe one of the reasons why you've been seeing that lack of manifestation here, pile 2, is because it almost feels like to me that the universe deep down is saying, well, are you really sure that's precisely the thing that you want? Or even if, like, for sure, yes, I want this thing. Like, Lone Pine, don't tell me I don't want it so bad. The universe wants you to further define what exactly is it that you want deep down with this? Why? Answer that why question, pile 2, and I think you're going to find a lot of advice just in answering that question. So, as I said, it's like your spirit guide's giving you advice, but it's really them pointing a mirror back to you and saying, well, our advice is to ask yourself why. Okay, they want you to find that answer deep down inside, but we do have some other cards. So we have inspiration. I almost wonder, pile 2, if part of, once you answer that why of what you're wishing for, what you're trying to bring to fruition, I almost wonder if some of you might come to the conclusion that maybe you've lost your inspiration in some way. Maybe you've lost your spark. Maybe you've lost like what really makes you excited about this goal deep down. Because sometimes when that happens, we can feel like it makes that like all the harder to manifest something if we've lost our inspiration, right? Pile number 2. It can also be that with the inspiration card, like say especially if you're trying to impress someone else, or you're trying to like vouch for yourself to get like a role or a promotion or something like that, then your advice in that situation would be, after answering that, well, why do you want it, to illustrate to the people that you're trying to impress, or like, trying to like get past that entry or that barrier, or whoever's approving, or you know what I mean, take it as it resonates for your situation. Emphasize, this is why I'm inspired. This is why I want to do it. If you really emphasize that passion and you emphasize that why, I think you're going to find a lot more progress than if you don't necessarily define that as much, okay? I think that's what your spirit guides are trying to say. Now, what's interesting is you have the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. I didn't even talk about them yet because I said, let's pull out the Oracle cards and see what happens. Or haps. I meant to say happens. Let's see what haps. All right. I guess I'm just cutting words in half today. And what I see there with the 6 of Cups and 3 of Wands, pile 2, is the 6 of Cups is the card, as I said, of the past. I almost wonder if some of your whys have to do with your past. Just like we used with that character example. I mean, one character wanted glory, but that's not the past, right? But one other character wanted revenge or justice for their family. Now, that is like a past reason. Okay, so like I said, I almost wonder if you're almost like that hero. Something from your past is really the deep down why of what you want, or why you want it, okay? So that might be just a little bit of a neon sign from spirit guides being like, that's a hint of why you really want it deep down. It's something to do with your past, pile 2, so look into that a bit more. But I do see, I will promise you this. I hope no one's disheartened by this reading, because it's been more advice rather than saying, yes, you're going to get the thing, right? So let me balm those worries a little bit here. With the 3 of Wands, we do see progress, okay? The 3 of Wands, as I said when it first popped out, is a card of, I made the plans, I thought it really through, especially that Queen of Swords and King of Swords energy. And Knight of Swords too, right? I thought it through, and now I can embark on this journey that I've charted, on this adventure that I've planned ahead. I think what's stopping that manifestation, though, pile 2, is just the plan ahead part. You've planned the action steps. I'm sure you have. You're like, well, logically, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Yes, and that's why we can get too mired in that air energy of the Queen of Swords. Think, right? I was compared to like Pooh Bear, right? He always taps his forehead and he goes, think. So you figured out those external reasons, that's external steps, but what's the why? Okay. And sometimes when we find that internal compass, that North Star, that Polaris, I should say, that true north direction, deep down inside pile 3, or let's call you pile 3, I'm sorry, pile 2. It's late, I'm a little bit tired. Between cutting words in half and calling you pile 3, I don't know, forgive me. When we find that internal compass and that North Star, that can be the utmost perfect guiding light that shows us the way towards what it is we're trying to manifest or achieve. Okay, so really what spirit guides are saying to you is to find realignment here like a compass within yourself, within your soul, your spirit. What is it that I really want here? And then boom, just like a compass heading towards magnetic north, towards Polaris, whatever, you'll know your direction. You'll know exactly what you have to do. Okay? And I think things will finally align and click into place for you at that point. So if you've been feeling lost, pile 2, your answer to find the way is look for the North Star, the why inside, and you will never feel lost ever again. Okay? Apply it to all parts of your life, actually, not just this situation. That helps everywhere. And when we know our why, pile 2, we know the how. Okay? Maybe not on the surface. Obviously, you still have to do those think things of like, well, okay, let's say, I really want a donut. Well, I have to go, logically I have the money for it. I gotta go to the store or this gas station, whatever. I gotta, using that just as an example. Yeah, we know that, but sometimes it helps like lock things into place with the universe when we know that why deep down inside. And then the path is shown almost seemingly out of the blue. We're like, oh, okay, I guess I just had to figure that step out. Sometimes too, we can get caught in things. So caught in the physical steps of things that we don't really remember or realize, well, why are we doing this? And that also helps inspiration too, pile 2. So remember your inspiration, what got you into this in the first place. That might be another little tip of advice from your spirit guides, okay? And that should set you on the path towards the wish that you want granted, towards the thing you're trying to achieve or manifest, as we said with the Magician reversed, okay? So beautiful, you're well on your way there. Don't feel discouraged. Just, do some of that compass work, inner compass things. Like, okay, why do I want to defeat the big bad, quote unquote? That's your answer. All right. So that is your message from your spirit guides today, and the message you need to hear that maybe you weren't able to hear before. I hope this reading provided you clarity. I hope it provided you some resolution, some calm. I hope it provided you, of course, help. Number one, that's what I care about most with our readings on this channel. So if it did those things, please like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube spiel. I just got to say it just to remind you because every single little bit helps, any one of those 3 things, if not all 3. So thank you so much if you choose to do that, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 2, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the message you're not hearing but really need to, message from your spirit guides, etc. And as you recall, you were drawn to She Who Questions Amalie as your pile leader with the keywords curiosity, destiny, and search. So we're going to put her over to the left to begin, as we usually do with our pile leaders. And to begin your reading today, let's do a tarot spread. And then towards the end, we will draw your oracle cards as well. So, spirit guides for my wonderful pile 3 today. We want to know more about the message that they need to hear that maybe hasn't been getting through quite clearly. Something that would help them. Something that makes their journey easier. Thank you. Okay, I already know I want that one. And from the Pastoral Tarot, you received... Ooh. Knight of Cups. He's resting by the campfire. And I think he's playing a harmonica? Looks like a harmonica. Let's see. A very beautiful white horse. Interesting first card to get, pile 3. So the Knight of Cups often represents... Well, it can be a person, because the court cards in tarot represent people usually. And as a person, pile 3, the Knight of Cups tends to be a masculine energy who is a water sign. Or it's something that you're trying to do that represents what the Knight of Cups is kind of oversees. So that is actions taken regarding our emotions or our feelings. Could mean something to do with a relationship of some sort, pile 3, because cups are the relationship suit in tarot. And then we have the Ace of Wands reverse that just popped out as your first card. Can represent a situation that you've been in regarding sometimes creativity, because the Wands suit is fire in tarot that deals with creativity or ambitions, things like that. But reversed, it's like an opportunity hasn't been coming along in that area. I'm curious to see where this is going, because you have the Knight of Cups, which is so much like about emotions and relationships, but then we have ambitions and passions here with the Wands. Let's see. Then we have the Five of Swords, some air energy. It tends to be conflict or a battle of some sort. Let's keep going. Number 3 is the Nine of Pentacles. Now we have Earth. We have every element represented here. Nine of Pentacles is the fruits of our labor finally meeting our hand after having raised them. 4th card today is, the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting, because you had the Ace reversed in the beginning, but now you have it upright in the near future position, pile 3. That's a good sign. Okay, and then last but not least, pick this one right here. we have the Nine of Cups reversed. So the Cups does come back in full circle there from the Knight at the very beginning, and then we have the Nine of Cups reversed. Let me look over this pile 3. Interesting. Your reading isn't quite clicking yet, so just give me a second. I apologize, but... Oh, you know what it is, pile 3? I feel like you've been waiting for something. And I say that because your Amalie pile leader, one of her keywords is search, but then also your Five of Swords card. Yes, it technically represents a battle, but it's like he's waiting after the battle, like contemplating and reflecting on it. And then your Knight of Cups, too, also is someone who's waiting. He has worked hard. He's at rest now. He's at his bonfire playing his harmonica. His horse gets a rest as well. Time to recuperate from something. So you've either been waiting, or it might have also been that you took a pause on something. And you took a pause on it in pile 3, I think either because you were having a hard time finding an opportunity to get something going, hence the Ace of Wands reversed, or something came to a head, or like a battle. And when I say a battle, I don't literally mean, people obviously like duking it out, but more metaphorically in terms of like an internal battle that happened, where maybe you felt like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do this thing anymore, or I'm confused about where to go with it, so maybe I'll just kind of sit here and I'll wait for a sign from the universe of like where to go forward with this. Or it's an internal battle too, potentially, of it's like you're trying to figure out something, you're waiting. And maybe this message is part of that pile 3 from your spirit guides, because you're like, spirit guides, hey, snapping your fingers, like, give me a sign, and then I'll get up from my camp and I'll get going again on the horse. And I think it's something with what you're trying to manifest, because the central card, or the heart of the matter card, as I call it here, is the Nine of Pentacles, pile 3, and that's the card of reaping the fruits of our labor. So I think you did the best with what you had, even though it feels like the opportunity had been denied to you. But then... oh, some of you might be even waiting for results too. Oh, yes. I wonder if that's it. And I think some of you are pretty, like, you're low. You have like low expectations with it for some reason. I think because of maybe something coming to a head, or maybe you feel like you blew it. It's something along those lines. I'm getting a lot of different energies here, so I apologize if this feels kind of scattered, pile 3. Maybe, I'm hoping at least some of this resonates with, or at least a little bit of what I've been saying resonates with all of you. But, yeah, it's something along those lines. It's like you waiting, something coming to a head, you have low expectations, you feel like you're not getting the opportunity, or like you won't. But I do have good news for you, pile 3. You do have the Ace of Pentacles in the near future position. And the Ace of Pentacles is a card of being given an opportunity, especially in the realm of finances and career, and like things that we're trying to physically manifest here on Earth. Okay, so I think you're on the right path towards what you're trying to achieve. I think waiting actually was a good call. So that's also part of your worries, pile 3, where you're like, oh God, I can't believe I paused on that. Or why did I wait? Like, oh no, what if that made my outcome worse? Actually, waiting might have been the best thing you could have done. Because that's another thing with the Knight of Cups, pile 3, is the Knight of Cups is someone who takes action based on how they feel. Okay, they're very secure in, this is how I feel, so therefore I will do this. Okay, oh, or maybe some of you may have been like you quit something too. Okay, either way, like just to summarize, once again, so many energies in this pile 3. Whatever you're worried about with this situation thus far up till this point, you've been doing the right things. I don't think that there's anything within your control if things did go wrong, or like you're worried about like, oh man, did I make a mistake? Your spirit guides are trying to balm your worries on that. I'm getting the intuitive sense that you did everything right so far with everything that was within your control. And then too, especially like I said, if you've been waiting, or you paused something, or you quit something, it was the right decision. Okay. There is, as I said though, an opportunity coming in the near future. And I think it's because I almost wonder if you wouldn't have even had that opportunity had you not done the thing that you feel like you're not sure was a good idea or not. Because but here's the thing, pile 3, I keep hearing the phrase, good things come to those who wait. Yeah, good things come to those who wait. I think it was the best thing you could have done. So if you are worried about that, pile 3, part of your message from Spirit Guides today is please don't beat yourself up over that. Okay? You did the right thing if you took action regarding the way that you were feeling. Okay, that's what that Knight of Cups means. And then, yes, we have that opportunity. What's interesting here, though, is that at the very end we have the Nine of Cups reversed. Now, that can mean a card of feeling like we're not emotionally satisfied with something. It can also mean something like we don't feel necessarily like 100% satisfied with. So I know that sounds odd. This whole reading feels kind of weird today. I'm just going to admit there's so many energies here, as I said. But let me draw your oracle cards. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at your oracle cards because that'll provide more context. Sometimes I draw them and it just like everything clicks. Actually, I'm going to shuffle that again. I did not shuffle that very well. Then we have the bat and the hellbore with intuition. Yes, because bats always find their way with echolocation. And then from the Lantern Oracle today. Yeah, you followed your gut, pile 3, and it was the best thing you could have done. That's another thing, yeah. If you followed your heart, number 1, but if you followed your gut and your intuition, you did the right thing, pile 3. This almost kind of just feels like a comforting reading. I feel like your spirit guides are like, well, why are you being so hard on yourself, pile 3? What the heck? Why are you being so hard on yourself? Hey, maybe that's the battle with the Five of Swords. Maybe it's been a battle of beating yourself up. It's not even with other people necessarily. That was absolutely like the most beautiful card that could have come out for you today, pile 3. Holy crap, I'm getting chills. I know it sounds corny, but like literally moving forward. Number 28. I was just talking about how waiting was the right idea. The first step is taken within our stillness. Pile 3, if you need any more confirmation that what I was saying is that I was bang on, right? Waiting was the best thing, or pausing was the best thing you could have done. Or quitting, too. If you quit something that really just, you were like, I'm sick and I'm done with this, that was the absolute best thing you could have done. So please do not beat yourself up over that, especially if you're finding that part of the reading resonates with you. The first step is taken within our stillness. What a beautiful card. I got chills with that. Holy crap. I'm going to draw one more tarot card on that just to get some more clarity. I've been doing that with each pile today. But yes. I mean, I apologize. It's repetitive, but it's really just a reassurance reading, pile 3. They're just saying, well, why are you being so hard on yourself? You're almost there, too. You're going to come to that opportunity with that Ace of Pentacles. Okay, we have the Ten of Cups reversed, which can be a card of feeling like we didn't reach our happily ever after with something. Oh, maybe that's why you paused or you quit. Pile 3. If you're finding that the part of this reading resonating is you worrying over having paused or quit something or have been waiting instead of taking action, they're saying before you move forward or before any progress or momentum can be made forward, you need to identify precisely what it was that made the situation that you either quit or you've been waiting on or you've paused. What made you feel like that wasn't the happily ever after that you wanted? Because that's what the Ten of Cups reverse represents, pile 3, is a feeling of I thought it was going to be happily ever after, but in the end, I was not happy. Okay? And that, too, with the Nine of Cups, is kind of a similar message being right before the Ten of Cups, although 10 is more about, like, completion, whereas 9 of Cups is like, oh, you're almost there, right? I don't know, did you just lose passion for something, too? like you just lost interest, or you're like, well, why am I doing this? Like, why am I here? Like, you just weren't satisfied with it. That's what that Nine of Cups reversed means. So that being next to the Ace of Pentacles, that opportunity coming your way, that will be like a departure from the place that you either quit or paused from, etc., is a place that's going to allow you greater opportunity for something that actually emotionally satisfies you. I mean, I keep hearing it repeated, pile 3. The best thing you could have done was following your heart, and you did it. It's also just a pat on the back reading, pile 3. Holy crap. They're like, well, why are you doubting your intuition, pile 3? Why are you so hard on yourself? I mean, maybe it's because you keep looking back and you ask yourself the what ifs. You keep asking yourself, well, what if I hadn't done this? What if I hadn't paused or quit or left or waited? And your spirit guides are saying, well, don't worry about the what ifs. Because by you having done that, you're on the precise right path. The perfect path. The best path that could have been taken out of that. You did it at just the right time, pile 3. So do not doubt your intuition. Do not doubt the decision making that you've been doing thus far with this situation that you're finding is resonating with the message, okay? And you'll be rewarded for it too. You having taken that leap and following your heart and your intuition will bring something to fruition here with that Nine of Pentacles and the Ace. I think just to cap off your reading too, pile 3, I want to ask spirit guides here, like more about the opportunity coming your way. I know I described it a little bit already. Is it something that will provide emotional satisfaction that you didn't have before as part of like maybe why you got to this particular path? But I'm going to ask specifically, spirit guides, can you tell me more about the opportunity coming pile 3's way? Thank you. Okay. Ooh, temperance. Greater balance and greater moderation. We have, oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm getting chills again. I'm sorry, pile 3. We just have yet another card that's about like, oh man, we had to stop, or we were forced to stop something. And then the Ten of Swords reverse is literally like, okay, I paused, now I'm getting back up again. There are so many synchronicities. This is so cool. You have the coolest reading today, pile 3. Holy crap. And then we have the Page of Swords. Okay, so the opportunity coming your way, pile 3, they're saying, is something that will bring greater moderation and balance that you did not have before, I think, in the place that you left, or that you like paused or waited from, or like you didn't jump immediately on that opportunity with. It's far more balanced than had you stayed or had you chosen the other path. And on top of that, it's also something that will bring you out of that feeling of rock bottom, like with the Ten of Swords reversed, or feeling like I'm at the absolute end. If you're like your tiredness with what you were doing, or where you were before, it's like a complete departure from that because of the Ten of Swords reversed. And then with the Page of Swords, that's a card of sometimes like new things. I do read pages as new energy because they're like the youthful court cards, so to speak. And especially being swords, it's a newness or new energy, or sometimes like student or learning energy regarding the intellectual pursuits, because it's the air sign, right? So I don't know, like some of your, like maybe something related to university or school, or like classes. That might be one way that air energy manifests. And maybe some of you are even thinking about a new career. Or like that's the conclusion you might come to, or like the intuition that you've been feeling is like, well, maybe I should choose a new career or a new path. Well, you're 100% right, pile 3, number 1, but it's like that path will bring you so much greater balance and happiness. Like there's nothing braver in life, pile 3, than realizing you're not happy and then taking the action and the bravery it requires to move towards happiness. So as I said, you did the right thing in following your heart. Okay. You did the right thing in pausing, or waiting, or quitting. Yeah, it's quite a straightforward reading, pile 3. There's not seem to be too much more messages here. I mean, literally, it's just, as I said, it's like a reassurance reading is what it feels like to me. They're like, well, why are you beating yourself up so hard for this, pile 3? You did the right thing. So especially for those of you that waited, like you paused something, you got so many cards that were literally about like pause and wait and being still before moving forward. Like that's just double emphasis from spirit guides today. Do not feel ashamed that you waited or paused, okay? Or do not feel bad, or do not feel like it was the wrong decision. It was the right decision, pile 3, okay? So especially for those of you that fall in that camp. Beautiful. Well, that was your reading for today, my wonderful pile 3. Because I think that's all I can see here in terms of your messages. But you are well on your way for something better, okay? You're on the right path. Keep following your emotional satisfaction and what your heart and your intuition tell you, okay? All right. Beautiful. So I hope that you liked the reading. I hope that it helped you, number one. That's my main priority with these readings. And if so, please like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole YouTube spiel, but I just say it because it does really help the channel a lot. Any one of those 3 things, if not all 3. And thank you so much if you choose to do so. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 3, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 3.